Last time on the Galaxy's Top 10 Most Wanted, we saw bounty hunter Samus Aran take out number 4, Captain of the Space Pirates, Ridley. And now, live on the scene at Zebes, she is wasting no time at all, heading out to claim her next prize, Mother Brain herself. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Final Insanity, your anchor for this week, and welcome back to Metroid Zero Mission. So, I wanted to mention something about Ridley's lair in regards to how you can progress through this place, because when we first got here, there were two paths we could go down, one which seemingly led to a dead end with just an enemy generator, and the path we took through a super missile door. The thing is, that dead end room isn't quite so dead of an end as it might first seem. There are actually a couple of holes in the ceiling that, well, one you can fall out of, which is what we'll be doing, and a second entrance that goes through the back exit in the ceiling if you're good at bomb jumping. So you can skip super missiles entirely if you're good at that. Obviously, I skipped out on taking that exit because I wanted to get all the items in the western half of Ridley's lair, so there we go. It is entirely possible to skip super missiles, but I didn't because we wanted to get all the items. See, this is kind of how you go through it. You can see those bomb blocks up there. You just jump up through those, and then you're going through the back exit right to Ridley. It's pretty nice. Now, similarly to when we beat Kraid, now that we've defeated Ridley, the wall to the right here collapses and reveals to us a hidden entrance. Now, this one is actually a lot more significant than the one with Kraid because it actually can lead you to the screw attack if you didn't get it early. And as you can see, this Chozo statue's seen better days in contrast to the one in Kraid's lair. But yeah, the screw attack lets you get to this right here, which takes you just straight down here to this bottom section of Norfair. But if you don't have the screw attack, there is a bombable floor which leads you to another long hallway with other access to the screw attack, and even there's also another booster that lets you leave if you don't have speed booster or screw attack. So yeah, no matter what kind of item setup you're dealing with, you can leave there. It's just going to be a matter of what exit you come out of. And now, since we're on our way out of Norfair, I figured now would be a good time to come and take care of this hallway, which I kind of missed earlier, admittedly, but it works out since it's just right on the way through where I was exiting through Norfair anyways. There's nothing terribly important here, but you do want to get to it anyways because, I mean, it's right on the way. You've got no reason not to. Another nice thing is that this place lets me showcase some more fancy shine-sparking tricks, going right through all those destructible walls with no questions asked. Now for this super missile, you want to jump and use a bomb and not use it while you're on the floor because, surprise surprise, that bottom section is bombable and crumble blocks, so if you fall through, you're going to have to go all the way back around to get back up here. Something I want to note about shine sparking in midair like that I just did: if you're spin jumping, you do not activate the shine spark even if you've charged it. You have to be out of spin in order to actually do the shine spark. So if you do a spin jump, then press up to break out of the spin, you can then press jump again in order to shine spark in midair. You might have seen at the beginning of last episode that was actually necessary in order to get one of the shine spark secrets in Ridley's lair, so it's something important to keep in mind. But at this point, we actually don't really have any other items to pick up in Norfair. We're pretty much done with this place. So we're gonna just head on out of here and head back out to Brinstar, where there is actually still one more thing that we need to pick up. I showed it off a while ago, but back in the long, tall shaft that leads up towards Tourian, there was a secret in the left wall that led us to a missile and a blocked-off super that we could not get to without using the speed booster. But it was only a one tile wide, well, gap for us to use it in. So how the heck do we actually get there? Well, as it turns out, the secret lies in this very hallway. You saw that bomb block right there, yeah. It's a little bit of a hint to you. There's actually some speed booster blocks right there, and another missile this way. I mentioned before that when you hit a slope while shine sparking, you can press down again to conserve the shine again and essentially chain them together using different slopes. The same thing holds true when you're in Morph Ball mode. So, by performing a chain here, we can actually recharge the Shine Spark after we've already gone through this small entrance here, and then use that in the next hallway over in order to go into Morph Ball mode and Shine Spark through this hidden alcove in the wall to get straight to that super, as you can see right here. And I'm very lucky that that zoomer didn't hit me, because if it did, I would have had to do that entire thing all over again. There is a way you can charge a shine and preserve it from the bottom of this shaft and get up to it with it still intact, but it is very, very precise and something that really only is very useful if you're actually trying to speedrun, because, well, you want as many supers as you can heading into Tourian. Regular missiles too, of course, but supers especially, and I'll go over that when we actually get there, but just trust me on that. Now, this is the last heal point before we head down to Tourian, so I highly suggest using it. And if you're going for 100% like I am, you want to make sure that you've got 9 energy tanks, 90 missiles, and 7 super missiles. Now, on normal mode, the numbers will still be 9 energy tanks, but then you have 225 missiles and 14 super missiles because of how the capacity upgrades differ between difficulties. Just something to keep in mind if you're playing along. And having killed both Kraid and Ridley, we finally have passage into Mother Brain's headquarters in Tourian. All that's left for us to do is take this elevator down into the depths and confront Mother Brain herself. If only it were that simple. If you don't have the Ice Beam at this point, turn around and go get it, because all that stands between us and Mother Brain at this point is a gauntlet of Metroids, and we absolutely need the Ice Beam in order to deal with them. Trust me, you don't want to go any further without it, or you will be very, very sad. But we're as prepared as we can possibly be, so let's not dilly-dally and just charge straight through this place. I really like the detail of these deteriorated space pirates just lying around. It's a very familiar sight if you've played Super Metroid, seeing these gray, lifeless figures, victims of the Metroids and their life-sucking capabilities. It's a really nice touch. It's a really great way of showcasing just how much of a menace the Metroids really are, given that the space pirates who wanted to weaponize these things can't even stand up to them themselves. And as I said before, you need the Ice Beam to deal with the Metroids. Freezing them and then popping them full of missiles is the only way to kill them. And this is one of the big reasons I said get as many super missiles as possible. They will destroy a frozen Metroid in a single hit, which normally takes 5 missiles to do. And they have a decent drop rate on super missiles as well, so don't feel like you're wasting them by throwing them out there and just trying to take care of them as quickly as possible, since, hey, it's better that they're dead and the super missiles are wasted than they're alive and you're dying. Also important to note, if one of them grabs you, don't freak out, just curl into a ball, lay down some bombs, then freeze those fuckers and pop them right in the face. You can go through this place at a pretty quick pace, even if you don't get the best luck with super missiles though. You just have to remember not to be stingy with your missiles. Even if you shoot more than you really have to, even if you whiff a few shots, you still get so many refills, not just from the Metroids, but from these red Rinkas that are all around this place, that it's totally worth it to just be firing on all cylinders at all times. Additionally, there are a handful of rooms that have these green Rinkas, and those actually can drop super missiles. The red Rinkas can't. So I'd highly recommend just taking a few seconds here to just farm out super drops as much as you can, since they'll make the following rooms a lot easier. You don't necessarily need to get up to full, but having about 5 I would say is a good benchmark. Something else to note is that if you're playing on hard mode like I am, the number of Metroids in Tourian is actually increased to almost double. So you really want to be sure that you have some supers to take care of things if things get way too hectic, because it's very easy to fall too far or progress just a little too fast and end up spawning, oh, say 3 Metroids at once and having a lot to deal with all at once. Being able to just freeze them and take them out in a single shot is a godsend in those situations. Especially for this room. This room in particular is a nasty piece of work because most of the Metroid spawn locations are towards the center of the room. So if you lay down a bomb more towards the center and end up falling down there, you're going to have up to 4 and even maybe 5 or 6 Metroids to deal with if you go down to the bottom floor too quickly. It gets really scary really quickly. But I got pretty lucky there with my super missile drops. I'm at fairly full health, almost full missiles, and full super missiles, so I don't even have to bother wasting time refilling on anything in this room, which is pretty nice. But now, it's just the final gauntlet leading up to Mother Brain. No more Metroids left to deal with, just a bunch of turrets, some Rinkas, and a bunch of Zebatites. If you leave these things alone, they'll constantly be regenerating health, so you want to be sure that you're firing on all cylinders and not letting them get a chance to recover any health. If you shoot perfectly, they take 7 missiles to destroy. Super missiles obviously are a huge help for that because they destroy them in 2 shots. But if you do end up using supers to take these things out, I highly recommend going back and restocking in that green Rinka room that we just blazed through. And here we are, Mother Brain herself, the final battle. No intense final boss music or anything, just this tense theme that kind of emphasizes the amount of caution you really need to take in dealing with this confined space. Now the first section of this fight is just getting rid of this glass case that she's in to expose her eye and start pumping that full of missiles. Every 3 shots on hard mode or 5 shots on normal and easy, she will close her eye and then counter you with this wave of psychic energy. She'll also close her eye and use that if you fall below into the lava, as you can see here, so as to prevent you from just trying to cheese this fight by hanging out down there where she can't reach you. There is also, as you can see, a little safe spot just in front of her, and using this makes the fight a lot easier. One more shot and she's gone. But of course, it wouldn't be the end of a Metroid game without our obligatory escape sequence, with only 1 minute left on the clock. In the original Metroid, all you had to do was get to the top of this shaft and you were the winner. But in this game, we have to get all the way back to our ship in just 1 minute. On normal mode, you get 3 minutes. Hard mode, you only get the 1, so you have to make every second count. It is very, very easy to waste too much time trying to climb that shaft and end up not making it because you were just too slow at that part or fell down too far. Something else to note, if you skipped the speed booster for whatever reason, you are going to need to do a bomb jump up this little gap in the ceiling that you just saw for a brief second in order to make it to our ship, because the only other way is through that speed booster block. But what's this? Seems there are still yet some secrets that are left uncovered, but given that we have only 10 seconds left, we probably don't have a ton of time to go into that, so let's just get the heck out of here before we die. And that's game.